Good morning. It's Reverend Sully, Eric O'Sullivan. Um, it's September 11th, and it's a bitter day in America for the obvious reasons being the 24th anniversary of the terrorist attacks using commercial airliners and civilians as weapons to terrorize the rest of the populace. But also, it's the day after the murder of Charlie Kirk. And I'm going to start off by saying I never was a really big fan of Mr. Kirk. I didn't subscribe to his channel nor his YouTube. I neither subscribed to his YouTube nor his ex-Twitter account. He's part of this nebulous YouTube sphere that I'm adjacent and a part of. I consider myself a centrist. And so the right-leaning people to far-right people are, like him a lot. And so I've seen my share of Mr. Kirk's content and what he brings to a table. And I always thought that it was admirable for him to go into enemy territory using rhetoric and words to challenge ideas. And I've seen firsthand what his content looks like, getting into arguments with specifically young people, ideologically, biased people of the opposite side of his aisle. And challenging, basically, it's one of the best things for an argument. It's science. Science is you have a theory. Now you need to undergo something called peer review, and peer review is a merciless, heartless evisceration of your theory, using every tool from different people and different points of view to put holes in it and to show you where you could be wrong and to why this could be a bad theory. Now, if your theory survives peer review, it goes further up the chain to being closer to truth. And it was always amazing to see, very emotional, lots of times women, feminist, left-leaning, progressive type women, in discourse with Mr. Kirk, who is definitely right-leaning Christian and conservative Republican. Yet that, for me, that's the marketplace of ideas. That's where I'm going to hear something I've never thought of before from either side. And that's where, and for Mr. Kirk's bravery to enter these quote-unquote enemy spaces of college campuses, which is basically where this sort of activism and progressivism and even cultural Marxism comes from, because in my experience, most middle-of-the-road, typical, dare I say, normal Americans don't feel that way, don't think that way. And these are very elite, dare I say, erudite ways to think, very, very privileged ways to think, very superior ways to think. But there will be no apolitically incorrect tomorrow. This is the apolitically incorrect content for the week. I had trouble falling asleep last night. Like I said, I was not the biggest fan, but social media has gotten really brave with showing actual bad things happening to human bodies and people. Whether it was the Ukrainian girl Irina on the North Carolina, the Charlotte light rail, that was hard to see, and that came to me unbidden. Usually, Twitter has a thing where you put, sensitive content, click here to see it. I think I'm more about that. and and then to see Mr. Kirk's murder happen, you can see the bullet hit him on the neck. You can see a gorge of blood, and yeah, that happened. So buttons, huh? Rest in peace, Mr. Kirk. He leaves behind a beautiful young wife, a darling little daughter, and a small baby son. He had Christian beliefs, and he was a Republican. He was a friend of Trump's and a friend of the right. And it just, there is no call. I mean, things might get worse. And the left has shown that they've been the party of violence for years now. And I'm afraid that the right is about to join them. So be safe. Have your head on a swivel. Don't go. Avoid protests. Avoid activists. Avoid angry people. I don't have answers. All I have are more questions. But someone was killed yesterday for their ability to have a platform and use it. And this is where, and definitely a person that advised discourse, that advised discussion. And only through that can come understanding. No, well, understanding can come through political violence too. Once you rid yourself of your enemy, I mean, history is filled with that. History is literally built on the foundation of civilizations and peoples and cultures you've never heard of, and you never will. All their stories, all their hopes, all their love, all their children, all their everything. History's built on that. And it's a sad day in America, and it's 9/11, of all things. And I remember where I was 9/11. I was at work. I got a call on the phone, on my desk phone, from my best friend from high school, and he said, get to a television. And I got there just in time to see the second tower get hit. And it was a very weird day, and it was a very weird couple of days after that. But what it did was it galvanized America. We had a sense of unity that's been broken since, and most definitely on purpose. Don't ever forget that America has her enemies, and they're out there, and they're here too. As an ordained minister and a pacifist, I will advise you: don't take up violence. I mean, it's the hardest thing to do, but so far there have been no riots. There have been no protests. I mean, but does the right have every reason and every right to burn Teslas and to burn neighborhoods after this? I don't know. I don't think so. The left never did in the first place either. But they just did, in the name of social justice. Well, what about the name of practical justice? And this is what happens when you speak up. And this is the threat of fear and the leverage of violence. And this is Apolitically Incorrect, an ongoing series on my channel here. Please like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We're a small growing channel. Charlie Kirk was a YouTuber, and he can show you. It showed the power of this platform, the power of speaking to other people, the power of skipping over the conventional mainstream media. And I may not have been a fan or a follower, but I have his he's got my respect, and he's got my sorrow too. And that's all I get to say. Thank you. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Have a great day. Please like and subscribe. And I keep watching out for pigeons. All right. You have a great day. If you have any questions, or concerns, or comments, leave them in the comment section, and I'll answer them. And that's about it. Stay safe. There are people out there who have given themselves permission to use violence against you. What are you going to do? Are you going to become a victim? Another statistic? Or are you going to live a long life? I don't know.